Namaste yogis. Today's pose is Parsvottanasana, also known as extended side stretch. Now this pose, we often come into it from a warrior one stance. So I want you to take your warrior one stance, feet hip distance apart, left and right, one leg distance in front of you, the length of the mat. Take the back foot at a 30-degree angle-ish, so it's facing at a diagonal towards the front of the room, and come into warrior one. So we'll bend that front knee. Now how you get into extended side stretch is you straighten through that front leg, hop the back foot in just a little bit, square those hips, make sure they're super squared to the front of the room, like if you had two headlights on your hips, they'd both be facing in the same direction. Engage the core, and then take your right hand to your right hip, since we're leading with the right foot now. Right hand to the right hip, hinge at the hips, engage the core, and reach the left arm as far forward as you can. Keeping both hips square, pressing back with that hip, keeping the hips square, come forward with a flat back. So you might need to adjust your legs forward or back, depending on you, on your anatomy. Press that left heel down, press into the big toe of the right foot, the front foot. And again, with that flat back, come down as far as you can. Now, if you can only come here, you can keep your hands on your hips. That's totally fine. Just keep internally rotating that left hip. Externally rotate the right hip. If you have blocks handy, you can grab those and bring the floor up to you. Again, make sure you're keeping a flat back, so you can always inhale, half lift to refine that flat back, and then using the core, fold a little deeper. If you're coming to the mat with your hands, you can mighty finger your hands. Dip the chin a little bit so that you have a long spine. And again, work on keeping those hips square. So one thing I see is the left hip will pop up in this particular case. You might need to bend a little bit into that front leg. That's totally fine. And another thing I see is people really reaching toward their leg and finding a deep arch in the back. So try to keep that flat back and fold from the core with a long flat back. So let's try on the other side, shall we? Left leg forward, I want us to be even. And again, I want us to see that sometimes each leg is a little bit different. You might have more flexibility in one leg or the other. So with this side, we have the left leg leading. Square the hips, back toes at a slight diagonal. Feet hip distance apart. Take the left hand to the left hip this time and reach as far forward as you can, hinging from the hips, keeping the hips square, engaging the core. Lengthen the crown of head away from the tailbone, so slightly dip the chin. And then once you've gotten as far as you can go, you can release your hands to blocks, to your hips, to your quad, to your shin, wherever is most comfortable for you, to the mat if you'd like. It might take you a little while to get to the mat if you hang out here, and then after a little while you notice that you can stretch a little deeper. Excellent. So press through that big left toe, press through the heel of the right foot, bring the right hip forward and press the left femur back into its socket. Inhale, half lift to get that long flat back. And then exhale, use the core to fold a little deeper. And to come out of it, bend the knee, come back up into warrior one, or come out of it in any way that is comfortable for you. Just don't hurt your hamstrings. But that is an excellent stretch for the hamstrings. I think it feels really good. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Namaste.